My youth friends and all my viewers, especially all EduSkills International aspirants, welcome to this program. And I am happy to interact with you. It's a golden opportunity, I believe, because learning, what is learning is the first thing. It's an exploration. If you hear something, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, and I understand. It's from Confucius, in 4450 BC, maybe 2500 years ago, a Chinese philosopher. He said, experiences are the best ways to learn. So this is nothing new. This is part of the ancient tradition, and our forefathers did use this. And students generally remember 10% of what he or she reads, 20% of what he hears, 30% of what she sees, 70% of what he or she says, 90% of what he participates, which means experiences. So, this is even from Indian philosophy, maybe our Sri Vivekananda put this concept of yoga into our Indian philosophical terms. He highlighted it, where he said, explore the divinity within you. Learning is exploration. The yoga concept, karma yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga, and bhakti yoga, 4 yogas. And Sri Vivekananda highlighted it and explored it. He said, through karma, by doing your duty, you explore the divinity within you, the sacredness within you, the wisdom within you, the you within you. Jnana yoga means through studies or exploring wisdom, you explore the divinity within you. Raja Yoga, by controlling your mind, emotions, you explore the divinity within you. And Bhakti Yoga, by prayer, spiritual activities, you explore the you or the divinity within you. So ultimately, learning is an exploration. It means it is exploring what is within you. Statue is present in the stone. Some artist or sculptor was said, it is great indeed your talent that you have carved out such a beautiful angel or statue out of this stone. He said, I did not do anything. I just chiseled out what was not required. The statue, the angel was within the stone. It was there. So learning or education is just exploring, chiseling out what is not required. And learning, I always believe, as I am fond of learning, and I fall in love with the process of learning, and still I am in the process of learning. And learning seems to be, for me, it is something like a basic instinct. As we have hunger, thirst, and a desire for thirst for being loved and seeking attention, all these things are basic in us. A child finds it by birth. So what I feel, it's one of the basic instincts, maybe learning. The child has much more than the hunger and thirst, maybe 1,000-fold more. The child has this instinct within him or her. Child wants to explore everything, ask why. Why is this? What is this? And want to explore, want to touch the fire and find this experience. It's hot. I shouldn't touch it again. Or the child observes the carpenter working and it wants to do that. As a child, I used to create 4-wheelers with wooden wheels and all those things. And cooking, we used to have mud cups and mud plates. We used to create so many things, all by observation. Even language, our mother tongue, we did not learn in any classroom. It was just by experience, by observing, by listening, by involving our 5 senses into it. So ultimately, learning is experiencing. For example, we don't remember days, but then we remember moments. There are so many moments that we remember in our life. Because stories are just data with a soul. That's what Ben Brown said. Stories are just data with a soul. So always we remember moments, we remember stories, we remember whatever we have an association with or what we visualize in our mind. And this attitude of exploring, asking why, we call it why skills in 21st century. Like exploration, curiosity, inquisitiveness, asking all sorts of questions to understand how the world works, how the things work. Knowing the right answer is not important, but ability to ask good questions is greater than knowing the right answers. But students are supposed to answer questions. That's a tragedy. Ability to ask questions, good questions, that should be the training given to the students. It's not that they answer the questions, they should be made to ask the questions. Questioning is natural to 2 to 3 years old kids. We train this skill out of children in the schools. Starting from the preschools, we ask them to chup raho, listen to me. As for me, to a teacher to tell the students chup raho or shut up and listen to me is an offense. Now today, to train adults, corporate training programs, there are so many training programs, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, just to train them, ask whys, 5 whys to get the root of the problem. But what is the problem? Where is the problem lying? Ultimately, this is basic instinct. As we want to eat, want to drink, when we are thirsty, we want to drink water. Nobody need to compel us. So this learning is also an instinct, or it is very much to us from by our birth. We are almost like charismatic learners. Everybody wants to learn. But this thirst is being crushed out or killed or quenched. It's not quenched, it's in fact killed from the very preschool stages of our system. When a child just looks at a carpenter, if the carpenter lives from there, if the chisel and other things are left there, definitely the child will play with those chisels. And safety is self-taught. Child know how to be safe. But parents or the teachers, we are not convinced that safety is self-taught. We want to teach them all these things. So, for example, I remember a story which I did write in my dissertation in 1996 on youth and exploration, where I said one of my friends visited another friend in Bangalore, and he found a wonderful dog over there, a Doberman category breed of dog, tall and well built. And my friend was so fond of it, he requested whether he could get a dog for himself, and he got a small one, and he was so fond of that particular dog, the Doberman breed, and he fed it like anything with all the soup and non-veg and whatever possible things. But then this was growing up tall and big, but then it was not well built. So my friend was so much concerned, he went to a veterinary doctor and explained this problem of his pet. And doctor said, somehow you can buy some fish oil and give it to the dog. And this friend of mine was so concerned, he could not find it in his city. He traveled more than 60 kilometers and got it from another city, and he wanted to give it to the dog. Now, Doberman is very furious and it never surrenders. It will never surrender. It's so ferocious. So what he thought, though it is not well built, it's very strong. So he called some of his neighbors, some youngsters, to assist him to give this fish oil to the dog. And one of them held 2 legs at the back, other one leg held 2 legs in the front, other one kept a stick on his neck, on the dog's neck, and another man opened the mouth of the dog with a steel spoon. And this friend of mine holding the big container, because he thought, I need not share it to another container because I have to give it to the dog again. So let me give the dog the fish oil from the big container which he bought it from the medical store. So he was serving first spoon. Suddenly the dog got so violent, it pushed off. And the oil and the container was split down and the oil was lost. And my friend got so furious, he threw the spoon at the dog, and he said, come on, let it die. I don't want to do all this nonsense for this. And he was going away with his neighbors, youngsters. He turned back, and when he looked, the dog was licking the fish oil and fallen on the stones there, on the spoon, on the container, and it was just licking it. This is what happening to us. It's not that the fish oil dog didn't like fish oil. It was very fond of fish oil. But my friend had a prejudice that it has to be served in this particular way. It has to be forced. Medicine has to be given this way. So the pedagogy, the method, how we give education, asking the students to chup raho, listen to me, shut your mouth, be attentive, be steady, don't look this or that side. So we make them, some or other, we kill the instinct in them to learn. And we present learning as something which is not wanted. And gradually, in the process, nobody likes learning. But then if you really understand how the fish oil to be given to the dog, if it was just given to the dog, definitely it will lick in and it will enjoy the fish oil. But this prejudiced system sometimes definitely doesn't understand the whole concept of education. Maya Angelou was confirmed in the concept that she said people often don't remember what you say. They often don't remember what you do. They remember how you make them feel. So feeling this is experience. You must feel the learning process. So you have to connect your brain, heart, and hands. Hands means the service or the activity. Heart means the feeling. Brain means the IQ. So sometimes we remember so many people with whom we felt good or bad. Maybe for good reasons or bad reasons, we remember many people. For example, I remember when I was admitted to the ICU in 96, back in 96, when I was very serious due to a sickness. I still remember so vividly two nurses named Ruby and Jansi, who were nursing me, and the doctor. The way Dr. Mohammed Kunji and these two nurses nursed me, I don't know where they are. After so many decades, still I can vividly remember. It's not because what they said, I don't remember anything that they told me. I don't remember what they did for me. I don't know, they did something. But still, I remember how they made me feel inside the ICU, intensive care unit. So this theory, this was researched, I said it is from 450 BC, started from Confucius. There are a lot of research and discussions on this experiential learning. And India, definitely we have the proud tradition, or Dr. Sugata Mitra, the chief scientist of NIIT in Delhi. Hole in the wall, it is known, the experiment was known as hole in the wall. This adjoining slum in Kalkaji, New Delhi, which was adjoining to the campus university, NIIT. They created a learning station. There was a slum just in Kalkaji, just adjoining the wall of this particular university. They created a hole in the wall and kept a monitor of the computer in 1996, and kept the mouse over there to access to the children of the slum, adjoining slum. And no training, no supervision, no interference, no guidance. The students one by one started to come and experiment with the mouse, with what is inside the computer. Within 3 months, the experiment showed almost like most of the students in the slum, they were really interested to learn computer, and they had basic computer skills without any teacher teaching them, without any guidance. So idea of unsupervised learning initiated in 1996. Now we have in different countries, Dr. Sugata Mitra and her experiments, decade-long experiments, speaks about incidental learning, minimum human guidance. When I was trained by Cambridge, we were all having the challenge of TTT. They used to mark TTT in the bracket when we were undergoing the assessment. TTT means teacher talking time crime. We were taught, being a teacher, you should not speak more than 25% of the time. If an hour, 60-minute session is given to you, you are supposed to speak maximum 15 minutes. Otherwise, it is called an offense by a teacher. TTT crime. Rest of the time, students have to involve themselves, interact, and learn. So, but then we know TTT is common thing what happens in our system. The teacher comes, starts speaking till the end of the session. Rarely there is a chance to ask questions. If at all there is a chance to ask questions, those questions will be asked by the teachers to the students. So in short, I want to tell you, learning taken in its real sense, everybody will enjoy it as if we enjoy our food and water. When we want to drink something or eat something, how do we enjoy? In the same way, we enjoy learning process. But the question is whether we are doing it, whether our students really enjoy learning. That is the question, and the system has to answer it. Experiential learning, I will end with one small example. For example, imagine Ritika is running up to the first floor where there is a seminar going on. I'm conducting the seminar. She was late. Okay, so as she was just running up to the stairs, auditorium, in the corner of the staircase over there, the stairs, there is a big cobra. She didn't see it. The cobra pounced on her. She got so terrified. Okay, she comes and sits there. She cannot see anything. She can't hear anything. She is just there. She is shivering, sweating. It happened and everybody came to know all those things. Maybe the principal was absent in the college. After a week or 10 days, principal returns after a seminar. And he met Ritika and asked her, did you meet a cobra somewhere near the stairs? Okay, is it me? Did I see the cobra? Do you need to recall? No. Before he says cobra, your hands and legs will start shivering because it's an experience. Even after an year, you will never, ever forget. Even after 2 years, you won't forget. The very fact you come, maybe after 10 years, you come near the staircase, you will remember the cobra. So vivid. Can you make the process of learning vivid? And I can challenge you. For example, I can make you remember within 5 minutes. With a therapeutic approach, I can make you remember 50 things, maybe a list of 50 items in the same order. Just by listening once, I'll just give you the list and you will repeat it and reproduce it in the same order, vice versa, from reverse to the first as well. Or if I ask what is 36, what is 24, you will definitely reproduce it. And I can challenge you, otherwise I have challenged, and you can find in my channel, I have challenged 4th standard students. You can remember even 300 items without any revision, just by listening once. By involving your all senses and making it an experience, giving it a soul. The list is a data without soul. When I give a soul to it, the story becomes a data with soul. So that's possible. So definitely we have to work on it so that as youngsters and those who are listening to me, if you don't do it, I don't do it, we don't do it, nobody will do it. So as Rudyard Kipling says, if I don't burn, if you don't burn, if we don't burn, how the shadows become light. So let me burn, you should burn, then we should burn. We should enlighten this education system. And we should experience within our lives so that we radiate it to others. Thank you so much. I should not get into the TTT crime by speaking too long, so that I give you the chance to interact. Thank you, sir. Thank you, friends.
Sir, my question is, sir, what is the types of experiential learning? And sir, according to sir, what is the main purpose of this learning?
Okay, Jigyasa, very good questions. The types of experiential learning are as many as there are students or learners. Each individual has to improvise it. But we can just give a model of it where you will definitely improvise it. Everybody can improvise it. But generally, scientifically, we have 3 types of learners. One is auditory, second one is visual, third one is kinesthetic. Auditory means those who listen to the lecture in the classroom and they register most of the things. Their dominant learning style is auditory. Those are the people who you can see in the hostel verandas just before the exams. They walk and run, read loud. Okay, they want to at least listen to their own reading, they can register in their minds better. Or they ask their friends, could you read it out loud so that I can learn from your reading? Okay, they want to listen. Anything that they listen, that is dominant style. That doesn't mean they don't have other styles, but that is the dominant style. The other one is visual learners. Visual learners will learn whatever is written on the whiteboard or blackboard or the PPTs, whatever is highlighted, all those things, or looking at the text and underlining, circling, they will learn better. Those things will register in their brain better. The other one is kinesthetic. Those people who do and learn, they want to do something and learn. So these are the main types. But then, as I feel, like the pedagogy which I developed is I give freedom for the students to choose, improvise the method they want to take in. Okay, they can choose anything. But I see that all these three languages or styles of learning are developed simultaneously. They are challenged simultaneously. So it depends. The types of experiential learning means each experience is unique. Each experience belongs to each one, and you are exploring the you within you. You are exploring the divinity within you, as Dr. Vivekananda said. So it depends on you. Experience is entirely different. What Ritika experienced when she the cobra may not be same when Rishika sees that cobra or someone else sees that cobra. Each one has got a different feeling when even though the situation or the object is same. Second one, what is the purpose? Purpose is plainly to fall in love with your learning. You know, I have never stopped learning from 1975. I have never stopped learning. Officially, I wrote some exams every year. And my students often ask me, Father, when do you enjoy your life? You are still learning. I said, I'm still enjoying. Do you enjoy watching a movie for 3 hours? Yes. That's it. When I go into my examination hall 3 hours, it's a thrilling experience. Because, you know, the answer comes into mind like anything. You just keep on writing the thrill experience. It's like you watch a movie. So the purpose is simply to fall in love with your learning process.
Sir, my name is Kavya Pathak and I am currently pursuing BSc Honors Patek from GLA University, Mathura. So my first question is, sir, what are the approaches towards experiential learning, and second question is how we can implement it in our day-to-day life?
Okay, Kavya Pathak, very good question. What are the approaches? Approaches, if you have to define approaches, as I told you, types are as many as the learners. There are several types. Approaches are like you have to put in your first approach. You should not feel, for example, I'll give you one example. Recently, there was a discussion. I had been taking some sessions on positive parenting in different campuses in Kerala. And, you know, one particular parents meeting, a company was sponsoring it. So in the parents meeting, they were like, parents wanted the students to have offline classes. Teachers were ready to give offline classes, and the management was ready. But then, all were happy. They demanded, we want offline classes. The management students said, yes, we will give offline classes. But at the end, I raised a concern. See, you are on the wrong track. You are comfortable, parents are comfortable because you will get rid of those burden of taking care of the children at home, and you misuse of phone and all these fears will be off. And the teachers and management, they are happy because let students come so that we can teach better, we will feel comfortable, and our job is secured. But then the focus should be the students, learners. Okay, so the approach, learners, how do they feel when they immediately shift from online to offline? So I told them best thing is don't ask yourself whether should we have online or offline classes. You should ask yourself we should have online and offline classes, not or but and. So also here the approach is learner-centered approach. Learner-centered approach. Students are the focus. Learners are the focus. When I recruit my staff into my campus, I used to tell them about the 3 values in my campus to my teachers, whom I recruit as teachers in my college. First value is my students. The students' future can never be compromised at any cost. Second value, the future of the staff, the teachers themselves. Third value, the management, the vision of the management. I give first value as students because if they lose their future, I can't give them another future. Okay, they are budding. So teachers can definitely find another job, or management, we can have another college even if this college collapses. Okay, so students, learner-centered approach is the approach. So first we have to learn, for example, the Cambridge has taught me to learn to study the students. We will have only 12 students in our batch in my campus, premier campus, only 12 students, because psychologically speaking, no human teacher or human being can teach more than 12 students at a time. Okay, so first 1 month is to learn the students. Teacher has to research the students and find out what is the dominant learning style of Ritika, Manisha, and Kavya, and each and every one. And submit a thesis on this batch. And teacher has to give us a report saying that this is how I am going to teach them. These are their learning styles. So approach is learner-centered approach. Implementation. Implementation, I said, batches should be of a smaller group. Individual attention should be given. Interaction should be done. TTT should be avoided. No teacher should commit the crime of teacher talking time. Okay, this is the implementation method. Allow the students to speak. Allow them to question. Never ever tell them, listen to me. The teacher, as for me, a teacher telling the students, please shut your mouth and listen to me. That's an offense. Let's say, let's discuss about this topic. Let's interact about this topic. Tell me what you feel about this particular concept. That's the way how we can implement it.
My name is Khushwant. My name is Khushwant, and currently I am pursuing my MBA from Hindustan Institute of Management, Computer Studies, Via Mathura. So my question is how experiential learning helps in decision making. My second question is what is the role of experiential learning in organization?
Okay, Kushwant, very good question. Decision making and experiential learning definitely is the thing that will help you in developing decision making skills. Experiential learning means doing by yourself, less minimum teacher interference. So when you experiment, when you do yourself, you fail. So the education system today does not allow to fail. I appreciate that particular education system or the parenting where the failures are encouraged. People are allowed, student learners are allowed to fail. You know, once you fall, there are two options. Either you give up or you get up. Bounce back. So here what happens, decisions are made by you, not by your teacher. From the very learning process, every decision is made by you. You decide, my students decide when, how, and when I have to study, how I have to study. No concept of homework for me. No homeworks, no assignments. It's all the students, when they fall in love with the subject, with the learning, with the teacher, fall in love with the campus, nothing to tell them. They are just fascinated about it. This is my experience, I tell you. Mr. Lal sir will know that. From real students like you, I had complaints. I never ever give them a chance, like, for example, no homeworks, no assignments. Like, if you ask me, I have challenged more than 26 years now, millions of students. If they can make me angry in the sessions, in the classrooms, I'll give them 25,000 rupees on the spot. If they make me angry. Because whatever they do in the classroom is a process of learning. They do mistakes, and my concept is that my students' mistakes are my syllabus. My students' mistakes are my syllabus. They have to make mistakes. They make decisions and make mistakes and learn these are the mistakes. When the child touches the fire or the stove, hot stove, it feels hot, and next time it shouldn't do that. So failures are the best teachers, best experiences. So, you know, every step of experiential learning, as you asked, you develop, you imbibe the decision-making skill as well as the problem-solving skill. And you know, what is the role in organization? Today, organizations speak about V skills. V skills, interaction skills, Y skills, explorative skills. You know, we cannot imagine maybe after 10 years what is going to happen. The world is so changing so fast, because when I studied my degree, I did not have a computer. I never seen a computer. I had typewriters. You know, My greatest treasure was a Japanese typewriter, very small typewriter, where to hit and drag, hit and drag. When you make a mistake, you have to cut it. You can't delete it. Nothing of that sort. World has changed in that way. So role in organization means they need people who are flexible, who have transferable skills, who can shift roles. Maybe they have to experiment on different production methods or different innovations to suit the needs of tomorrow. Every day is changing, and artificial intelligence has come in. Robots are working today. So people need transferable skills. Companies need transferable skills. And you, Kushwant, being an MBA student, be sure they will look for transferable skills and flexibility in you. Are you able to shift roles? And that's being helped out in experiential learning.
Sir, I want to ask that if students try to learn from a pattern of experiential learning, which pattern is best suitable for them? And my next question is how to implement experiential learning in internship programs.
Now, I think there is a bit of repetition of the question. It's okay. You have put the approach into pattern, and the implementation was put in general. You are asking about internship. Okay, I'll give you. Pattern, as I said, which pattern has to be adapted? Manisha Goyal, I told you, pattern is yours. You have a pattern to explore yourself. No, different things are done from outside. So many things. As you know, whatever the motivation from outside, it's external. That will not help you a lot. See, you should not be like asking somebody to push your car every time. Okay? You have to have auto start, not push start. So approach is this. You should be able to explore yourself. Means when you fall in love with somebody, if you have an experience, how you long to be with that person, how you want to find out new ways to find that person. If you want to hide from your parents, what are the tricks you will invent, and how you will work out. Exactly, that is it. When you fall in love with your learning, you will invent your own approaches. Okay, and coming to how does it help in your internship? Internship is internship field work. They call MBA, you have internships. MSW, they have field works. And new education policy is bringing out all these internships from 6th standard. Maybe let's hope for better. Internship, you have to follow one principle. Okay, internship, I always tell my students in your internships, practical learning, you have to, am I audible? Yeah, sorry. Yes, because the internet was unstable. 1 is greater than 0 is the principle I tell them for your internships. Okay, 1 is greater than 0. Means, for example, you go for internships, don't wait for somebody's instructions, somebody's suggestions. Just launch into anything that you can do for the company that you are appointed in. Anything, any service. 0 means doing nothing. By doing nothing, you make your mind devil's workshop. But when you get involved, you find something there, just do it. Don't think it is something menial. Starting from the cleaning or anything, I tell my girls, the degree students, there are students, maybe in the future we will bring them in. Like there are students who earn more than 2 lakhs in first year degree, like BBA, BCom, BA. By earning, we have EL package, earn while you learn. As of now, we have thousands of students online engaged in EL package. The thing is this, 2 of the girls came and asked me, now we don't get any job, or we don't know how to get the job. We are new to this city. I said, you just go to the textile over there. Do you know there is a textile? Have you seen that? There are so many textiles. One is in the corner. Yes. Go there and ask the owner there, somebody there, man there sitting, can I just clean the cupboard here? Can I arrange the clothes for you? This is an internship that we are doing free, just for learning. What do you lose? Every day you go and assist them. Next day they will start speaking about their business, the pandemic epiphany experience, the struggles they have. And I told my students, me or any experts can teach you, never can teach these things to you. They are teaching from their life experience. So internship should be such that you should fall in love with every minute of it. Do whatever you can. Instead of not doing something, keep doing something throughout. And not for your report. Never ever think of your reports to be submitted to your college, but think of your future. The skills you earn there have 70% of weightage, and your learning, theoretical learning in the campus, MBA, MSW, whatever the degree you hold, the theoretical learning has only 30% weightage. 70% goes into your skills. So just focus on that, your future, your skills, not the report.
My question is, can anyone learn experientially? And my second question is, what are the hindrances to experiential learning?
Nice, Rishika. Can someone learn experientially? The answer is all can learn only through experience. If at all you learn something, it is through experience. Otherwise, you by heart something, it's not actually learning. Parrot can speak some words, right? If you repeat it to it, we call it learning? Okay, you can call it learning. So parroting, we call it. So learning happens only by experience. As I told you from the very beginning, how did you learn to walk? Was there some theory classes? You have to keep the right leg first, then left leg, then firm stand, next step. No theory classes. You learn by experience, by observing, by listening, by hearing, by involving your five senses. How did you learn your mother tongue? It's by experience. Okay? Nobody taught you the grammar classes of your mother tongue. Nobody taught you anything of that. How did you learn to behave? Most of the things are experience. You experience from your parents, your siblings. So many things, the etiquettes, the good manners. How do you know how to behave? There were no good manner books in your childhood, but you knew how to behave with the seniors. So most of the things are by experience. So learning for me is only through experience. There is no other learning possible. But it is covered in other shells, and we put it, experiential aspect is not highlighted. That's it. Other thing is, what are the hindrances? Hindrances are like, I told you, the system itself has its hindrances. And maybe if you have some 90 students in a classroom, it's not that easy for the teacher to teach them in the approach of experiential learning, where you need to focus on individual interests or individual styles of learning, individual needs, and learner should be focused. In a 90 or 60 students classroom, a learner's classroom, it's not easy to teach them. So the system has to be changed, the main hindrance. But don't think of the hindrances, always think of the possibilities. Don't think of the challenges, convert the challenges into opportunities. For me or for you, Rishika, to practice this, you don't have any hindrance, because I have practiced it, learned it myself from some professor in my +1 PUC first year after matriculation, the first year, college, pre-university college. And I have practiced this from that day till now. So for me, there is no hindrance at all. And I teach my all students in the same pedagogy. There is no hindrance. So for me, there is no hindrance. For the world, there is hindrance. For Rishika, there is no hindrance. For Vidhi, there is no hindrance. For Ritika, there is no hindrance. But in general, there is hindrance. So let's think of the possibilities and challenges and opportunities, not of the hindrances and other difficulties. Yes, thank you.
So my first question is, what are the benefits of experiential learning? And my second question is, why we choose theoretical knowledge over experiential knowledge?
Ritika, great question. Benefits, I told you. First benefit is like no burden of learning. No burden of learning. First benefit is, if you go through experiential learning, in the process of experiential learning, you fall in love with learning process. Automatically, you have a clarity in the things. When you fall in love with it, you enjoy it. I tell my students, like my students, when they come in the morning, they come holding their books like this and say, "Good morning, sir." Okay, when they go in the evening, "Good evening, sir." I tell them, morning you can tell me, "Good morning, sir." But when you go in the evening, you have to say, "Good evening, sir. I'm so happy, energetic, with a lot of new wisdom." Okay? So that is it. That is the best advantage or benefit of experiential learning. It will energize you. It will not exhaust you. You want to do more and more. You want to be with the books. You just, as I said, we become mad of learning. Recently, I told I am doing a research since almost 5 years now. I told one of my guides, see, after I complete, maybe within 6 months, I will complete the research. I told my guide, you have to put me in some de-addiction center, because I got addicted to this particular topic of my research. my whole being, my thought, my heart, my soul, my brain, everything is just addicted to that particular topic that I am doing research on family life. So I have to get into a de-addiction center. That's the benefit. You get involved. For example, I tell you, my experience is this, all my students know. I keep alarm, no, at 12:55 because I have to sleep at 1 o'clock since 27 years now. I don't keep an alarm to wake me up at 5 o'clock. I keep an alarm if I am doing my studies on my table. I will never ever realize, even if it reaches morning 6 o'clock, when the birds are chirping, oh my goodness, I did not sleep. So that is the positive aspect of it. You get involved into your learning process. You will not realize your thirst, your hunger. You never feel sleepy when you're learning. That's the best benefit of it. And why theoretical knowledge is kept above experiential learning is because it is easy. Chup raho, I am going to teach you is easy. To answer your questions are challenging. To answer students' questions, for teachers, it's very challenging. That's why I find so difficult, even in our own campus, to implement it. One difficulty is that teachers are not equipped for that. I'm not, as a teacher, I should be equipped to tell you, Ritika, sorry, I'm not equipped to answer you now. Let me learn more, learn from some others, or I approach some books and give you the answer tomorrow if I don't know. I should have that humility as a teacher. Okay? And you should understand that as well. So the main thing that theory is kept above experience or practical thing is because that is easy. Teacher talking is easy than answering. Teachers love to ask questions, not to answer. That's it.
So my question is, do you think experiential learning would be ineffective at the time of COVID? And how can we overcome that?
Okay. COVID is definitely is called now pandemic epiphany. Epiphany means transformation. The research gives about it. Now, COVID and experiential learning online, is it possible to have experiential learning online? Definitely, because learning is not giving you something from outside. You doing something, I just instigate you, inspire you to continue with that. See, exploring yourself is learning, I said. Finding yourself, the divinity within you, or the you within you. Okay? So definitely we are not equipped sometimes. Maybe what you ask, like keeping aside ineffective in the sense the hurdles like poor internet in Indian villages or other technical issues, I keep it apart. Otherwise, as of now, I am teaching around 16,000 students online from 16 countries. Okay? Like we have different platforms. And I don't feel any hurdle over there, provided my students have two things. One is clarity of purpose. Second one is love of the process. Third one is compounding effect. Clarity of purpose, you should know why you are studying. Okay, what's the purpose of doing your MBA? Okay, second one is love of the process. I make my students to fall in love with the subjects. Then there is no issue. Third one is compounding effect. Compounding effect means every day I feel, you feel, my students feel I am growing. I have achieved something. I am going closer to my goal, my purpose, my dream. So every day as they are moving closer and closer, they get energized. So it's not the method or the pedagogy that is focused, but the experience that students have. Ultimately, if you fall in with love with your subjects, definitely there is no hindrance at all, even online or offline. But if you are offline, definitely, as per Indian system, person-to-person interaction is better. For example, you can see, maybe if you are in another country, you can see your parents over online, right? It's not exactly as you hug them offline. So there's a slight difference, human difference, definitely, that we are allowed to compensate. But as I said, let's not look into the lacuna or the difficulties or the challenges, but let's look into the possibilities and opportunities.
My first question is, what problem does experiential learning solve? And my second question is, why experiential learning is the future of learning?
Yes, Vidhi, great question. What does it solve? Already I said, main problem, what is the main problem? None of us want to study or write exams. If I ask how many of you love exams, how many of you have fallen in love with studies? We do it because it is a necessary evil. Because I want to get into a good job, I have to study. There is no other go. If somebody tells you, you don't write your exams, I'm going to give a big job, earning lakhs of rupees, you will never go into your exams, right? So ultimately, what problem does the experiential learning solve? It makes what is bitter sweet. What you hate, it makes you fall in love with. What you consider as necessary evil, you find it as so interesting, so sweet, as I do experience learning. I tell my students, if you don't want to learn, please do my job. I am ready to write exams for you, learn for you. I am jealous of you because I want to be a student forever. That is the problem solved by experiential learning. And future of, I don't make that categorical statement. Experiential learning is the future of education or something of that sort as you made, because I'm not as confident as Vidhi, because the transformation, as they say, now pandemic epiphany or pandemic transformation transforms the world like anything. We can't predict. We can never imagine what job a primary school student today will get into when he has completed his post-graduation or so. We can never even imagine. So what are we preparing them for? The world is changing so fast. So ultimately, I tell you, experiential learning is not the future of education. Experiential learning is the sweet future of Vidhi. It's the sweet future of Tariq, Minisha, Josha, and Kavya, and Rishika, and all of us. For each one of us. Other one is abstract. This is concrete. Let me fall in love with my learning. That's my future. My future is important for me, and each one constructs his future. We will build up our country, we will build up the world.
So my first question is, how do we promote experiential learning? And my second question, how long do experiential learning task take?
How do we promote? How do we promote? First I say, we don't promote, I promote. I promote, then you promote, then we promote, then everything will be all right. Okay? First, I try to imbibe that into my learning process. I practice it, then you practice it, then we practice it together, then definitely we radiate it to our friends. We will communicate it to others. We try to empower other learners, our friends. That's what I am doing. And so now I've been for the last 2.5 decades, I have taught millions of students on different fields, starting from pre-KG till PG or otherwise, like all the competitive exams. What I say, I try to imbibe or radiate this. What I'm doing now I'm trying to convince you and give you this particular approach of experiential learning. So we can promote, each one can promote in ourselves, with others, definitely the world will go the way of experiential learning. How long it takes? It doesn't take any long. You can start immediately. The very moment as you are listening to me, you can make it an experience. You can visualize the things. You can try to recollect. You can associate. You can start very this moment. How long? There is no question. Like in our campus, we don't have, nobody will ask if we give them a task to be completed, when we should complete. There is no deadline. The answer is right now. I borrow the words of respected APJ Kalam, a former Prime Minister of happy memory. He said, ask yourself 2 questions. Why can't I do what? If I have something to be completed by tomorrow, why can't I complete it today itself? If I have something to be completed today, why can't I do it right now? Right now? What is tomorrow is today, and today is right now. So no question of how long. Right now, and we proceed.
My question is, everyone have different experience learning relating to the same problem. Does experiment learning differ from person to person for that specific problem or feeling?
I think I told you when I said each experiential learning experience differs from individual to individual. So what you experience, for example, I serve the same dish for each one of you. Maybe something like biryani. But the way you experience is entirely different, right? Never same. So also experiential learning, the way subjective way of experiencing it differs. But as a teacher, when I teach in the experiential approach, I'm giving you the freedom to experience in your own way, learn in your own way, work in your own way. There is nothing called homework or assignments, but you are exploring how should I become competent in my skills, in my ability, in my area of study. So I just support you, and we call ourselves not as teachers but facilitators. Just facilitate the system. That's it. How does Okay. How does it help in personal fulfillment, or personally, how does it help Ritika? See now, something you want to take some medicine which is very bitter. There are two options. One is very bitter, one is sweet. But doctor says you can opt for any one. Okay, the medicinal value is same. Which one will you opt? The sweet one, right? We want to enjoy it. So this is it. Personally, what you gain is this. You become, if I put it in a different way, we call it mad, make a difference. Mad means make a difference. You become mad. You make a difference, strike a difference in your life, and everybody says Ritika is a different, unique person. Your approaches will be different. Your skills will be different. As you go across experiential learning, you will imbibe most of the skills that is required for your future employment, for your future career, or whatever you want to do in the future. So it helps your holistic development. Theoretically, spoon feeding, and experientially is self-feeding. Spoon feeding, it depends how much you are provided, right? Only when they feed you, they can accept. But when you are allowed to feed yourself, and you love to feed yourself, see the advantage? They might give you only 3 spoon biryani, but here you can have 30 spoons if you want. That's the advantage. And the third question, why experiential learning above theoretical learning? Exactly this is the answer. Because you have the freedom. Mainly, I told you, it's like if you practice it, I tell you, you just practice it, then I can't, like example, for example, I am introducing some very new dish now to Ritika or to all of you. We prepare here some special dish called MXC. Okay, it's so sweet and so, it's something like I am fond of it. I love it. Whatever I explain, can you experience that? You have to eat it, right? So once you start experiencing it, you will understand. You will say theory. Theory, definitely concepts you should know. You need to know. Even that you can learn. I said theory is learning without soul. Experiential learning is data with soul. Theory is just abstract data. Experiential learning is data with soul, with life.
Sir, my question is, what distinguish experiential learning from other types of learning? And my second question is, are there professional organization of experiential educators?
Definitely, yes. Distinction is, as I told you, distinction is the focus entirely shifts from the teacher to the learner. Okay, the main distinction in the theoretical learning process in our system, teacher is the focus. Whereas here, learner is the focus. One example I'll give you. For our BBA first year, 1 semester, 6 months, almost 5 months class, we complete their syllabus within 3 weeks. On 30th day, there will be a model exam and they will score the maximum marks, and then they are free for 4 months to involve into skill development activities, internships, visiting companies, and all those things. And in the first semester, we teach them, but they will never know we are teaching them. We start with some introductions and all those things, funny things. We never give them the syllabus. We give them the syllabus just 1 month before the exam. Then they will realize syllabus is so narrow. We have learned so much. You know, we don't tell them this is the syllabus we are taking in class. As soon as you say this is the syllabus, this is the first chapter, you will say, oh, what class and chapter and all those things. For example, one example I'll give you for second year BBA students, I believe, BA students, sociology. I have 60 hours in a traditional college. I told them in the first session, see, I need maximum 15 hours to complete your portion, whereas I am given 60 hours. So whenever you feel uncomfortable or you're not in a good mood, let us lock the door and enjoy, make some dance or debate or something like that, enjoy or singing. I can't send you out because I need principal's permission, because I don't require 60 hours, I need only 15 hours, because I do it experiential approach teaching as well. I never allow my students to read the textbook again. It's an offense for a degree student to read the textbook again. They can jot down some points, short notes, then you can refer that if need be. That also not required when you have experiential approach to the lessons. Then after first lesson was on rural economy, okay, the rural life. After first chapter, as I entered the next day, I finished within 4 hours. Next day, students said, oh, first chapter is over, now today we will not have lesson, we will have some enjoyment. I said, definitely, you can do it. What should we have? And the group was really mad about debating. They said, we will have debates. Okay, I said, you choose one topic for debate. They suggested some and they could not come into consensus. Ultimately, I suggested, why do you, as we have studied about rural economy, why don't we go into urban economy and have a debate? They said, fine. So one urban students, all students from city, one group, and all students from village, another group. So debate started. I started to write down, the beautiful name was given for 2 groups, and I started to write down the points. The rural people were very happy because they know already from the lessons what are the points to be raised, right? But the urban people were so shrewd, they were countering those points and saying their points. So I started to write down all the points, whatever was important. Students never know this is what I am doing. At the end, I asked, can I contribute 1 or 2 points to both the sides? Yes, I contributed. I knew, I was prepared for the second chapter, which speaks about urban economy. But they never knew. So what happened? The 4 hours teaching was done within an hour, and all points were given, 90% of the points were given by the students. So at the end, I told them, come on now, second chapter is over. Okay? Without dealing with second chapter is over and they will not forget it. It's experiential. They debated. They countered. Rishika can remember that Tariq raised that point and I objected it. And I gave this point. They did not remember. That's experiential learning. You got it?
So my first question is, as per academic, can experiential learning is enough for getting good percentage in all the subjects? And my next question is, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again? Sir, I wanna ask in experiential learning, this pattern is followed according to Samuel, sir. Is this possible in this fast moving world where people fail, person have an opportunity?
Okay, is it possible through experiential learning, can you get good percentage? That's what your first question, right? You can't get good percentage, you can get the best percentage. Okay, it will be very difficult for you to remain in good percentage. You will get the best because that's your experience.